America's Great Wealth Seizure, the new executive order. 1. Emergency powers explained. The President of the United States can declare a national emergency and instantly gain control over the financial system. These powers come from old laws that still exist today, including the Trading with the Enemy Act, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, and the National Emergencies Act. So what does that actually mean? It means the president can freeze accounts, block transactions, and restrict assets without Congress or courts. Footnote: emergency laws allow wide control over money and property once a crisis is declared. 2. The 1933 Blueprint. In 1933, the government made private gold ownership illegal. Americans were forced to surrender gold or face prison. The government then revalued gold higher after taking it, gaining huge financial power. So what does that actually mean? The government took wealth cheaply, then increased its value for itself. Footnote: the 1933 gold seizure shows how emergency powers enable legal confiscation. 3. Modern examples of asset freezes. Recent events show these powers are still active. Banks froze accounts in 2008, foreign reserves were frozen in 2022, and protesters' bank accounts were frozen in Canada. These actions happened instantly with no trial. So what does that actually mean? If the government believes it's necessary, your access to money can be restricted overnight. Footnote: asset freezes remain normal tools used during financial or political emergencies. 4. Why 2027 is the danger zone. Major risks are building: record national debt, rising bank losses, global moves toward gold-backed currencies, and unstable markets. History shows big financial resets happen every few decades. All signs point toward 2027 being the next one. So what does that actually mean? A crisis could justify the next emergency order, just like 1933. Footnote: economic pressure and historical cycles make a 2027 reset likely. 5. How a wealth seizure could work. A crisis hits. Banks close for a temporary holiday. Withdrawals freeze. Gold, silver, crypto, and retirement accounts face restrictions or forced conversions. Digital dollars and strict controls replace normal banking. So what does that actually mean? Your access to wealth could be limited or redirected in the name of stability. Footnote: crises give the government justification to restrict assets and change the monetary system. 6. Who loses the most? The middle class is hit hardest because their wealth sits in bank accounts, retirement funds, and homes with debt. Inflation, forced conversions, and limited withdrawals reduce their real wealth. So what does that actually mean? People who did everything right financially could still see their savings collapse. Footnote: most people hold assets the government can easily freeze or devalue. 7. How people historically protect themselves. Protective strategies include diversifying assets, holding some wealth outside the banking system, using trusts or LLCs, owning hard assets like land, and, most importantly, acting early before emergency rules begin. So what does that actually mean? Once a freeze happens, it's too late to move anything. Footnote: wealth survives when placed in structures or assets the government cannot instantly seize.